Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Live. Now, up next, we are joined by Dr. Nndweleni MPhephu, who is the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, and also Global South Africa Water and Sanitation Dialogue 2025. That's exactly what we will be talking about. Now, he is the chairperson of Lepelle Northern Water, and now Dr. MPhephu has been at the forefront of addressing water challenges and promoting sustainable solutions. And today he will be discussing the AWSISA Africa and Global South Water and Sanitation Dialogue 2025, which is focusing on the theme of sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. Now let's welcome Dr. MPhephu and learn from his expertise in this critical field. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor, and welcome to Prime Live.
Good evening to you, and good evening to your listeners.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us how can African countries balance economic growth, with sustainable water management?
The Africa, as you know, we are still developing. Most of the countries are, in fact, almost all countries are developing countries. Therefore, we do need to stimulate our economy in terms of growth. Hence, we need industries. We have got mineral resources, but we need to process them here in Africa. We need to put special economic zones. So we need to encourage economic development. Things like agriculture, for example, all this needs water. Therefore, water is a catalyst for economic growth. However, we do know that we have got a shortage of water. We do know that we have got a challenge with management of water and infrastructure. Therefore, we need to have that balance to ensure that water is here and is critical, as I said, for economic growth. So there are two things that are critical in Africa, which is water, number one, and then energy. But we are looking at ensuring that we collaborate, all of us, because we share the water resources in terms of rivers. Therefore, we need to manage our water resources effectively for economic growth of Africa.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, can you tell us, what are the biggest challenges facing water institutions in South Africa, but also, across Africa?
I will start in South Africa. The challenge we have, of course, is population growth. And with population growth will come the required infrastructure to ensure that we give water to all the people, unlike before, where the infrastructure is limited. But that's challenge number one. Number two, even the infrastructure that we have is an old infrastructure that need to be refurbished so that we can prevent leaks, and that as well needs funding to ensure that we have enough water for all the people. Of course, we also need to manage our water resources. Hence, we encourage water conservation and demand management in Africa, as well as here at home in South Africa. Climate change is also giving us a biggest challenge, and you will know that we have experienced drought, as well as flooding, and that also poses a risk in terms of giving water to people. But the last one that I want to talk about in terms of challenges we have is in terms of the debt that we have, especially the bulk water institution being owed by municipality. And we also know that even people are owing the municipality. So we need to address this gap, and then we will ensure that we have got enough water and funding for water infrastructure.
I mean, that's such important factors that you've just mentioned. And if you can just tell us, Doctor, how far are we, from actually addressing these issues? Is it still something that is still far-fetched? Is it something that we can still be hopeful for? And in addition to that question, tell us, how does Lepelle Northern Water also collaborate, with other organizations to, improve water solutions?
The good thing is that we are working together. We have realized that water issues or water crisis that we have now needs to be addressed. We need to collaborate with all the stakeholders, and not just the Department of Water and Sanitation, but also even National Treasury. So there has been an engagement where, for example, in terms of equitable shares, the National Treasury had to engage with municipalities that are owing the water boards. And that has yielded some success. But we're also encouraging people to say there has to be a principle. This user pays. If people must pay municipality so that municipality can be able to pay us. In terms of Lepelle, we are working well with our municipalities that are water service authority, meaning that they are the one who reticulate and give water to people. And we have formed the forums, multi-stakeholder forums with the Department of Water and Sanitation Provincial, the district municipality that are water service authority, as well as the water boards and communities around, because we need to involve the community. And we have seen that working well. And I can see it's also being spread across the country, and we have seen that even in other African countries, they are using that model. Let's involve everyone from grassroots all the way to the national government.
Most definitely. And I want to ask you, Doctor, in terms of people not paying, obviously, for water services, you mentioned a very important point. What do you think is the driving force behind that, behind people not, being able, or maybe just not, being ignorant around the fact that they need to actually pay for water services? And how do you think is the best way for us to address this so that people can see the importance of them contributing to water sanitation and water services?
You see, the government has made a provision for indigent, and indigents will be those that we know they cannot afford to pay. And they've made a provision for that, which is good. But also we know that there are people who are able, but they are just not willing to pay, even though they are crying for water, and they need us to give them a clean water that are Blue Drop certified. But if people, and with education, and the department is trying to do that as a water board and even as a municipality, we are trying to encourage people to understand that when they open the tap and that water is coming out, it's a water that has been processed from the dam. We took it from the dam as it is, put it into the plant, process it with chlorine, using professional like process controllers and engineers. We use electricity to pump it to their household. That requires money for us to do that. Therefore, when that water comes out, you have to pay for that water. But if we can encourage that culture of paying for service in South Africa, we will be far, and we should be able to address most of especially the water crisis. I can tell you, it will contribute 40% to the challenges that we have.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And in terms of innovation, let's talk about innovative technologies or practices that you think will hold the most promise for water conservation.
We definitely, with the collaborations that we have seen that things like smart metering, leak detection system, artificial intelligence is here, fourth industrial revolution is here. That enable us to detect leaks very quickly. It even allow us to ensure that we can monitor the distribution, but it also ensure that as we are operating, we can even plan our maintenance. And we know that even when we have to plan our shutdowns, what is the volume in our reservoirs? So we have to embrace this technology. The good thing is that we have started using it, and with the fundings that we have, and with the support we have, and the researchers and collaboration, international and national, this innovation will definitely assist. But the innovation is not just about the smart metering and artificial intelligence. It's also about improving the processes that we have in our wastewater treatment works, as well as the water treatment works. And we have seen in other areas where they process the wastewater and use the sludge for biogas. So we need to even take it further down to say, what do we do even with our waste? So wastewater is no longer, it becomes a resource. It's just be a waste. But I think water boards and other institutions, and also with the help of CSR and water research commissions, which are the anchor on research, they are really helping us to ensure that we can embrace the innovation and technology that we have today.
And just before we move to like Africa as a continent and just speaking about water security there, I wanted to just ask in terms of, the water sanitation and, the standard of the water that we have in South Africa. Would you say it's on, it's on par? Is it something that we can be proud of as a country, or is there still room for improvement?
There's a big room for improvement. It's good that the Department of Water and Sanitation has again reintroduced the blue drop, green drop, and no drop report, because that ensures that we can hold municipality and the water boards accountable and be transparent about the water that we are giving to people. But we have seen that even with the 2022 report, there's been a drop compared to the 2014 one on the blue drop and green drop, which is concerning. We have seen that out of 144 water service authorities, almost 100 are not performing well. Out of, I think it's about 96 or so wastewater treatment works, only about 26 they were certified green drop. Out of 95 or so, just over 95 water treatment works, only about, again, close to 30 were certified a blue drop. So we can see that we need to seriously work and ensure that we professionalize the water service authorities, we assist, we collaborate. Hence, the water boards saw it fit to even form a water association of water and sanitation so that we can share the knowledge and experience and build the capacity. And we want this capacity to even go to water service authority because they're the key. They're the one who do the reticulation to people. If we work together, we should be able to win.
Most definitely. And how do you think, climate change and environmental factors impact, water security in Africa as a whole?
It's a big challenge, and Africa is very vulnerable in terms of climate change, and we need to adapt. We need to adapt, and we need to ensure that we mitigate. You see, in South Africa, the good thing is that the government has saw it fit to develop a national climate change resource strategy, which is in line with the Climate Change Act. And that assists because what it does, it guides us in terms of what do we need to do to address or to adapt and mitigate the climate severe impact that it has on our water, especially on our water and sanitation infrastructure. We have seen that provinces like Limpopo, provinces like Northern Cape, Northwest and Mpumalanga, and even in some extent, Western Cape, has been hit hard by droughts. And you remember Western Cape even had to go to an extent of day zero. But we have experienced little rainfall, and which has created drought. But there are other provinces which we have seen recently, like KZN, the province like Eastern Cape, that has been hit hard by flooding. But what does it call for in terms of climate change? It calls for infrastructure resilience designs that will be able to withstand these droughts, but also the flooding as well. But it also calls for us to be able to ensure that we can store our water well on time as we prepare for the drought. But also the critical one is water conservation and demand management so that we can preserve our water resources and even prevent pollution.
And lastly, can you please remind us when and where the dialogue will be happening and how people can join? Because I think this has been such a fantastic conversation. And unfortunately, because we have limited time, I'd like viewers at home who are interested in this conversation to be able to attend and be able to continue hearing about sustainable water service and how us as Africa and the youth also can get involved in making sure that we understand the importance of sustainability in the water department.
Absolutely. I mean, for the first time ever, the water boards have come together under the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, together with Water Research Commission, TCTA, and the department to say, let's have a water dialogue. Water and sanitation, let's call it water and sanitation dialogue, under the theme towards sustainable water and sanitation services. And this is a dialogue which we are expecting over 20 countries We are oversubscribed in terms of stands that will be showcasing technology, that will be showcasing SMMEs on how to deal with water. We're excited about that. I'm told that we already have over 1,000 delegates that are registered, and we are even expecting more. The conference or this dialogue, which is taking place in Capton Park in Paras Palace, will take place from the 9th to 12th of November this year. And we are encouraging those who haven't registered to come through and showcase and learn more about how do we deal with the issue of water and sanitation. As I said, because we want to collaborate. We want to learn from each other. We have got a good collaboration. We attended World Water Week in Sweden. And it was encouraging to see all the water boards there, including the Catchment Management Agency. But we collaborated with international organizations like Finnish Water Forum and Swedish Water Sweden. And they will be coming to South Africa because we have got also expertise to share. So we are saying people must come, and organization, research, universities will be their representative, because we also want to encourage youth, the students, to participate and get involved in solving this water and sanitation issues or crisis that we have, and we should be able to win.
Most definitely. I mean, Doctor, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your insights, and just for, just briefly also trying to teach us about the importance of water sustainability. And I hope that those who are watching will definitely make it so that they can hear more of such conversations for a change.
Thank you very much, and I hope to see you during our water and sanitation dialogue.
Thank you so much. Definitely, I'll try my best. But viewers at home, this was Dr. Nndweleni MPhephu, who is the chairperson of Lepelle Northern Water, and we were just speaking about, the importance of water sustainability, water services, and how we as Africans can make sure that we are, very aware of water management. But in terms of the event itself, do not forget that it's happening between the 9th and the 12th of November 2025 in Kempton Park, Emperor's Palace, and the theme is towards sustainable water and sanitary in South Africa, or in Africa as a continent. Actually, make sure that you do actually join in.